Yeah, it's
Yeah. Bob is on the line from Dennisville. Good morning, Bob. How are you?
Good morning, Ann. How are you today?
Very well, thank you.
good morning, Bob.
First of all, Ann, good morning, Brian. And first of all, I want to thank you for your programming. I love your show. I'm an avid listener, and I find you part of my daily routine of inspiration, and I greatly appreciate that.
Thank you so much.
Thank you for your programming.
Thank you. Appreciate it.
Brian, I've had the great fortune, Ann, of knowing Brian for some time, watching him really move up here and do some great things. And I will tell you, Brian, I am just so elated that you are in this. The district needs you. Our nation needs you. We need the character of the Brian Fitzherberts. And I'll tell you, Ann, what I enjoy about Brian is here's a guy that could have easily went away after facing adversity of getting into what can be a very difficult and rough political arena. Yeah. And Brian didn't do that. His character speaks volumes of a man that has stayed with us for the love of his district, the love of his nation, and it speaks volumes to me.
Yeah.
And I greatly appreciate that. There are those like, and I'll say it, and like the Jeff Andrews that govern with the idea of political survivorship. And Jeff Andrew has been great at doing that.
Yeah.
However, the weakness of taking the position is of concern. And Brian's character is not that guy. He's the guy that will step up and do what it takes to do what he believes in, and that speaks volumes. So the idea of just playing it safe to survive in today's climate isn't good enough. We need representatives, and representatives that are going to be like the Brian Fitzherberts. With that being said, my question is, Brian, you have really a three-pronged approach here, I think, in making this run. And that is, first, you have the Republican County Committee men and women that you will seek a nomination for. Secondly, a primary, which gears up to be a very likely possibility. And then thirdly, a general. So I'd like to hear a little bit more about that because I know how important that process is and being in it for many years. And by the way, Ann, I have to tell you, being a guy being in the political arena for over 30-plus years, in my experience, Brian Fitzherbert teaches me quite a bit. So I admire having him around and his fortitude and learning from him as well. So a compliment that I have to give you, Brian, because I just find your character to be one of which that I admire greatly. And I can't tell you how elated I am that you're in this thing because it holds a great future for us in the 2nd Congressional District and our nation. So that's my question.
Yeah, of course, Bob. I'm humbled, humbled by your words, and the process, the three-pronged approach that you're talking about. Obviously, for those that don't know, this district is very sparse. It covers 8 counties, 4 that are totally engulfed in the district, and then there's 4 counties: Gloucester, Camden, Ocean, and Burlington, that have some towns that fit in those district. Camden has 1 town. Burlington has 2, Ocean has 10, and Gloucester has 13. And the first piece of this, and this is why I encourage people to get involved, is contacting and making the pitch to the county committee, because they make the recommendation at the conventions for each of the counties on who they believe should be the nominee. And I think that's the first piece. Obviously, they're the ones that are knee-deep in the political arena, like Bob has been for an exorbitant amount of time and has so much experience. And being able to make that case with those county committee individuals and saying and making that connection and making those promises that not only are promises but promises that you can keep. And that's the one thing that we've seen time and time again with politicians. They make promises and they break them. And it's being able to pitch that to the county committee individuals and get that endorsement, that support, that recommendation that after the conventions, a county endorses a particular candidate in the primary. And then you shift to the primary, which is the larger voting block that gets involved here in the district that votes in June of 2020. And part of that is, obviously it's your grassroots game. It's making sure that you are knocking on doors, talking about the issues that matter most. And that was the most fun I had in 2018 when I ran the first time, was being able to sit in a kitchen and talk about the issues that mattered most to constituents, because they felt like they weren't getting heard, and they had a grand opportunity because, again, we're a citizen government. We govern ourselves. The politics are very important to us, and we need to be able to not only understand that this is a big district, but that there are different avenues, there are different interests, there are different things that are very important to people in Cumberland that may be a little bit different from Cape May, or some that are different in Atlantic that are slightly different from those in Gloucester or Salem. And making sure that there's an understanding of that as a whole piece, because one of the great things about the Republican Party is ideological diversity, right? We have conservatives, we have Tea Partiers, we have moderates. We have what you would call your state party individuals. We have libertarians. We have the staunch Trump supporters that I think engulf all of them. And being able to understand that we all work together, and that's how we get things done, not only within the party, but being able to extend a hand if there's a willing participant on the other side. And that's the key word, a willing participant. And then obviously shifting to the general, there is a huge aspect that gets involved with making the case. And you don't want to be disingenuous, which we've seen time and time again with people on the other side. We want to be able to make the case and be that consistent, principled, and in my case, I want to be principled and maintain that principles that most people know me, that have had that opportunity to get to know how principled I am when it comes to things that I care about, and being relentless and being conservative within the Republican Party. So I think that three-pronged approach, the consistency factor must remain, and that's a way that people can place trust and earn that support, earn that vote from each and every one in this district. And that's what I'm going to do, because no one's going to work harder than I am. No one's going to be more relentless than I am. And you know what? I may continue to get that question about whether or not I am a twin or a triplet, because I'm in so many places.
You're everywhere. The ubiquitous Brian Fitzherbert. He's everywhere, Bob. Everywhere.
Well, let me tell you, Ann, too. The one quick point that I want to make here is that what I mean by the idea of political survivorship, those who govern for it, is clear. You know, a guy like Jeff Andrew may be a nice guy, but the truth of the matter is, Ann, not speaking up and out against the Andrew Ocasio-Cortezes, the Murphys of the world, the Bookers of the world, is where he falls short. And he does it because he has to survive. So you want to be a blue dog Democrat in D.C. and play it safe? That's not good enough. Yeah. The constituents of the 2nd Congressional District deserve better. And Ann, Brian's that guy. He's going to speak up. He's going to take the chances. He's going to do what's right and represent this district and our great country to make America great again. So, Brian, thank you for stepping up here. I look forward to you in D.C., my friend.
Thank you, Bob. I appreciate it. And, you know, that's more wings for me to fly when I have supporters like you calling in that have been quite experienced in the political arena. And, as you know, it's beyond humbling. I don't have words for it, and I'll continue to fight for everyone within this district and earn as much support and votes as possible. And even those that, should I be successful, I want to be able to represent everyone that's in this district. And if you have questions or want to learn a little bit more about me, go to fitzherbertforcongress.com. Follow me on Facebook and Instagram and Twitter, Brian T. Fitzherbert. And you can learn more. We would love for you guys to sign up with our email, and we'll be taking questions that way. So please learn more about me. I'll be out and about. You definitely will not miss me.
Great. Well, and thanks for taking my call.
Oh, anytime, Bob. Thank you for calling in.
Thanks, Bob.